board meeting
at 6:30 p.m.
at 6:30 p.m.
I will motion.
Okay.
Get me out of here.
One second.
Okay.
All in favor, say aye.
I,
So.
Aye.
yep.
Okay. So public comment, going back into regular.
All the way back to
session.
board.
Public comment, welcome to this meeting to the school board here at Endazhi-Nitaawiging. We are extremely pleased that you have shown an interest in our school affairs by attending this meeting. The school board allows public participation at its meetings, but at the same time has a responsibility for conducting its business in an orderly fashion. We'll provide the audience with opportunity to request to speak. We request that before you speak, please announce your name. Oh, I added something, my bad. Each speaker will be allowed 5 minutes unless the time limit is waived by a majority of the board members present. At the public meeting of the board, no person shall orally initiate charges or complaints against individual employees of the district or challenge instructional materials used in the district. All such charges, if presented to the board directly, shall be referred to the executive director of Endazhi-Nitaawiging for investigation and report. We would also like to remind the public that the school board is not allowed to comment on your concerns. If there's any questions, we will open the public comment section of the board meeting. So if we don't have anybody out there, in the public participation, we will move on to number 7, the reports, finance report, executive director report, have a head of school report and an APAC report.
Okay, I can go over, we had our finance committee on Monday and Amy was able to go over the finances and there's a new template. It's aligned with Osprey Wild's requirements and it's really, really nice. Exhibit R, it goes the same numbers, same projection, but it just kind of breaks it down with more details, like we said earlier. So it's really good. So Amy went over the numbers. We are within spending, I think, let me see. She doesn't have them numbered, and there's no page numbers on this. So we want to make sure we always include our student enrollment. I know that's one of the things that came up. So our ADM is 98. So average daily membership is what was budgeted for, and around 100 was the projection in approved budget. So we're sitting at around, we've been fluctuating between 97 and 100. So we lose like 2 here, then we got 2 new ones, no, 3 new ones came back, 2 returning students came back and 1 new one, just this last week. We didn't lose any, so yeah, week prior, I think we got 1 new one in 6th grade. And so we've just kind of been picking up and then we'll lose 1. So it's been fluctuating, but our average daily membership has been really consistent with what we did in the very beginning with our approved budget in June. So all of the numbers line up. We went over just in revenues where our money's coming from. So it breaks it down, general education aid, that's mostly our state funding, special education, state and some fed. And then our after school programming grant, which is state. So it breaks it down. Federal, no title, yet reported. That'll be coming out. I think Amy said, what is this, October, wait, what is this, November?
November.
So I think she'll be working on that November or December, and that should come up, well, she'll be working on now, and it should be coming up in December, reflecting what our Fed is, which is really small though. So yeah, it just kind of breaks it down. Does anybody have any questions on the new template?
No, it's pretty explanatory, for me to read, if I really know, it's like.
Yeah. Does look good. Even for my small brain, I can comprehend it.
Yeah. Yeah, I really like it. And then we still have our cash flow projection. So this is the piece with the highlighted line items for the months. And it just kind of, again, shows what came in, what we spent in state or other local receipts. And then what was going out and what was spent. And numbers are the same in our main budget. This just breaks it down by the month in the projection going forward. So we had a big deposit from the tribal council through the third-party billing request that we submitted in September. That finally came through. That was 300,000. And so our cash balance right now is quite a bit. Let me go back to this page to see what it is. 251,547. And that's because of that huge deposit.
But it finally came through.
It finally came through. Yeah, it took a few months. Yeah, so, and we'll hopefully be presenting to the board next month. We've been talking, because our initial request, I don't know if you guys remember, was 405,000. For visiting with her now, they said December we'll get the other 105. And then that'll help kick off our grants so that we can start moving forward with the projects, and then, because it's reimbursement based. And then we'll have that in there to spend, and then we can submit quarterly for that reimbursement. So we actually wouldn't see any of the reimbursements come back from grant spending until after January, after the quarter, so. And then you have your bank and checks. So this is just our accounts payable, all of our bills. And I can just go down through, the Marcus Tyler is our consultant. He does 1 hour a day outside of AmeriCorps, and he helps with language translation and support for that hour. And then Nate and Sylvia, that was leadership training we had with our partners Nissen, Rochelle. That was also some training. Petra, she did some professional development with our plan book. Actually, she did that quite a while ago, but it looks like she may have just cashed it maybe. I think she came in September?
August.
Oh, August, yeah.
Yeah.
7Cs, that's our SPED, school management's our finance. Then we have just our para, IRS, Wendy Jordan, contract work, Carlo, grant writing. Carlos, he does catering for our family nights. So, we've had quite a few family nights, and we're trying to get a lot more going throughout the year to kind of keep our parents engaged. So you'll see him throughout. Darwin Sumner, he does after school programming. He's been doing, some, hunting, trapping, and some fishing. And he's working on some training for, we got approval through our after school programming to do some earth block projects with our students. So we're working to develop that in spring to do an earth block shed. So you'll see him out throughout the accounts payable. Menards, cultural supplies, after school programming. Walmart, same thing. Red Lake Trading Post is a lot of our supplies for family nights. Target, we do family night incentives, so gift cards or gifts to give away at door prizes. Bamboo's our HR, Canva, That's just our flyer creation and notification. Raphael's Bakery, that's probably staff development or just for in the morning time for our staff. Amazon, those are our smart board stands. Delta was the leadership travel. Again, Walmart, some of our after-school programming supplies. Justin Barrett, he helped with, our social. So we have another social planned for, this Friday. So
Yeah.
he'll be here, yep. Amity Graphics did our handbooks, Designs for Learning does our special education consultant and our, some of our reporting, MDE, some of the, getting in and reporting our numbers once we get them to her.
phone. Or, no, not her phone, it's a phone.
It's my phone, yes. Let's see, Coles Papers, Supplies. Charm Tech Labs, that's our CAPD, so that's our testing for students assessment. Pumpkin Patch, let's see, Paul Bunyan, that's our internet. Some maintenance and services, Smith Schaefer's our audit. Anishinaabe Inc., we did some backpacks and shirts for some of our giveaways, and staff and students.
Is that a
Is-
local one? Anishinaabe Inc.?
Yep, that's what, what's his name? DeJarly. Fred DeJarly. Bismarck, they did our ricing, field trips. We met them out there at the beds. So they must have just cashed their check too. So kind of some late cashers. Cause we did that September maybe?
Yeah.
Yeah, September. TK Outdoors, that's a huge, accounts payable, 150,000. That's our outdoor schoolyard. So we got the grant and then we turned around, and had to pay their costs. So that was TK Outdoors. We'll be moving to phase 3. Let's see. What else we got. I think that's it. UBS is our, safety training. Soaring Bird is our HR. Yep. Any questions?
So this is just only for the month of
October.
October?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yep.
Oh, that's a lot,
I do appreciate the explanation,
right?
because I know previous meetings, we were kind of like, well, what is this for? Well, what was that for?
Yeah.
So. I think it broke down verbally.
And I know one of the things the authorizers mentioned to that is like some of our staff on there, coming up on accounts payable. A lot of that, and you'll see that more coming up now. We've launched our after school programming. They take additional contracts to help with after school programming. So it's outside of their teacher duties or salaries, so they get a additional contract. And so you'll see probably a few of them popping up more throughout the rest of the year for after school programming. So. Yeah. Nate is not gonna be here today because of the family emergency that took place, last week.
Okay.
So, but I'll report my section. We have, just a newsletter. We're working on sending a monthly newsletter. So here's just a little draft. We haven't launched it fully yet. But we have our tech guy working on that, our consultant. And so, that comes from teachers and, we want to just kind of get it out to our families and stuff.
Nice.
We're working on, just getting more family involvement. We have a pretty good family buy-in, but just really keeping them active. And the goal is to really get them involved to help continue to shape the school. And with that, we're creating just more family nights. We just had a family night with the pontoon. We did some rides and we fed
How'd that
spaghetti
go?
dinner. We had about 30 people, so it's kind of smaller. But we partnered with Josh at DNR and we met at Fuller's and it was actually nice out. It was cold, but it was still nice. Nice sunset, got the, then we came over with the spaghetti feed and we just said, we wanted to get families, just eat together and get out. So little smaller in numbers, but it was cold and later, so, and it being outside, so we kind of anticipated that, but we have a social going on for kids. On Friday, we had theme week, this week. We just finally got Parent Square synced. Yay, so I can start sending out the flyers. I wasn't able to send out flyers. We had to do the little messaging and the links. So, next, more notification and better notification will be going out to our parents. I know some of our parents were feeling a little frustrated that notices weren't getting out early enough, or they couldn't open up the link from JMC when they got the message. So that's our kind of our SIS transition, Student Information Systems transition from Synergy to JMC, but Parent Square, I love Parent Square, so, so we're working on better communication with our parents. Our academics, we are excited. We are, like I presented last month, we are transitioning from NWEA assessments to STAR. So we're almost complete with our STAR assessments, which will let our staff and teachers know where our students are at so we can provide that additional support and title services. So we got quite a bit results already, so we'll be working through that this probably within the next week or two, and really start placing and pulling for services. In addition, our after-school programming, every student gets 45 minutes of enrichment, academic enrichment. So kind of that support before they kick into the club or programming. So that's pretty exciting. Let's see, we finished our dyslexia. So we'll have those results here soon and we'll provide supports. We had our first child study team meeting, and that's used to identify some of the students. Teachers notice some students need additional support, whether it's behavior or other academics. And then child study team is developed to meet with the team and determine if it's going to proceed into additional services through Ajigan or what direction. I don't know, there's a few students coming through there that's been identified, so the team's working on that. Again, the data driven, we're really focusing on data, pulling in the data, capturing that. That's something we have to work on as the school. So we've been putting in a lot of measures to do that and really use data to drive what instruction looks like and support for teachers. So we've been really working on that support with teachers and understanding that data and really using it within the classroom for each student. So we're working to improve. Again, academic is our focus this year. Along with everything else, we're still doing everything that's mission vision aligned. We still partner with our NISN, NACA Inspired Schools Network. They provide professional development on our native lit. Again, focus is indigenized education. So we take that seriously and really implementing it and providing that support. So it's been a little here and there, but we're working to increase that professional development for our teachers so they can deliver as intended. Let's see. Yeah. Any questions? Oh, the Osprey Wild's deficiency letter. We're still working on that. Our admin team with Jola and Rochelle are helping to meet the different deadlines. There's a few we missed. We missed the academic improvement plan, so we're working on that, and we've been in communication with Osprey Wild's Erin. We got a new program. What's her name? Program assignment. I don't know what they call her, but her name is Beth. So we're gonna have an initial meeting with her. Before we had Emily, and then we had what's his name? He was only here for a short time. Now they hired Beth. So Beth's gonna be our contact for Osprey Wilds. So we'll be meeting with her, and just working on her checklist for a deficiency letter and making sure we are in compliance in different areas. I don't know if you guys noticed the website, Mex Thom has been working, our consultant, on our compliance on the website, and it looks amazing. So if you get a chance, jump on our website. It's really,
It
Working
is,
on
I
getting
was
things.
navigating that.
yeah,
Today.
so. Staff, we are down a couple staff, this week. We are really working on our staff morale in our community, community building and, performances, with that, some attendance and really addressing and making sure our staff, are here and showing up and they have the support from us to continue to be here and ask any questions or really communicate with us. So 2 staff are no longer working with us. As of Monday, we'll be doing interviews for a paraprofessional coming up here this week. We have 1 position open for a paraprofessional. And also we will be looking to hire the office support, the front desk, so that's coming up. Yeah. That's all I have. Which,
You have anybody here from APEC?
And I think so.
no,
No attendance.
Do you have any questions, Bianca?
On reports,
Not at this time.
Thank you. So moving on to 8, new business. Motion to approve the working board minutes. Okay, this one here was gonna be tabled, right?
yes.
A and B.
Yep, A and B.
A and B is gonna be tabled till December 17th,
Yep.
2025. Due to corrections. Okay.
And I'll motion for that.
And I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion passed to table A and B until December 17th, 2025. Okay. So moving along, we went from A, B to D.
Oh, yeah. So
oh,
put C. That'll be edited in minutes, hopefully. Hopefully I catch it.
Motion to approve the financial report as presented by Sylvia.
I'll motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion passed. All right, motion to approve the CARC as presented.
We were going to table.
Okay,
That
we're
item.
gonna, okay, so can I have a motion for it to be tabled until December meeting?
I will motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Motion passed.
oh wait, which one was that?
E,
E.
A, B, C, D.
We are on E
Yeah,
now.
we're on E.
We tabled the CARC.
Oh, I was mistaken.
Huh?
I was mistaken. It was just the annual report.
Oh.
Yeah. So there's no
No approval.
2025, 26.
Okay,
no
so we
approval.
can approve it then.
You can approve it,
Oh.
yeah,
So we don't
It's
need
just
to
the
motion to
report.
table then, do we?
No,
Okay.
okay.
yeah.
Okay, so let's remove the table part.
Yeah,
Okay, remove the table.
Motion to approve it, I will motion.
Okay.
Because I did take a peek at this while during
Yeah.
working, so.
Yeah, so the summary report, we have to report on now called CARC.
Oh, just a
I don't mean
second.
to be
I'll-
rude, but.
I'll second that so we can discuss it.
Yeah,
Jump the gun.
okay, now we're in discussion.
Okay, so, so this goes over our report for the year. So, each goal is set and they're all the same. We just determine kind of what our goal is for our school. So each goal is there and it breaks down what the result is and the status, so.
And this is the one that you're gonna reprint?
This is the one, so we developed a new goal for 25-26, but it doesn't need board approval.
Okay,
We will, at the end of the year, we'll bring it to the board, for the summary, the
Okay.
annual summary report, which this is for last year.
Right.
So, yeah, so our goals did change for this year from last year.
okay.
So
So
this is
moving
just like an update.
Yep, this is the update from in the report summary for our, last year it was called World's Best Workforce. Same exact goals and results, and now it is called the CARC.
Okay,
And
so
it
then
just
that one,
breaks down the
that,
results.
that doesn't need board approval. So should we motion to remove that line item from the agenda?
Yeah, it doesn't need board approval, it just needs to be presented to the board, the results. So
Okay, so
it's up to
So
you
motion
guys.
to approve the CAR as presented.
And you can approve it too, it doesn't need it, but if it's on there, you
well,
can.
I motioned it and Bianca second.
The motion passed. So.
Yep, okay.
Great.
Item F, motion to approve the revised procurement policy as presented.
Is that one the one for the financials?
That's for the purchasing, procurement, and contracting.
Okay.
So this is just another revision.
Another revision on the three policies, the next three things.
Yeah, and what was revised in this revision? Do you
Are you
know?
guys in a motion?
Oh, yeah, we got a motion first, done.
Motion to approve the revised procurement policy as presented. Can I have a motion, please?
I will motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Wait, I think we're in discussion right now
Okay,
first,
okay.
and then vote.
So Rochelle, as part of our compliance, I wouldn't say officer, but part of her duties is working on our compliance and making sure we're in compliant. She worked on our policies and the revisions, so I don't have what was redlined or changed. However, I know this was presented through the policy committee and they did go over it and make sure it aligned with what authorizer's feedback. So Erin looked it over our initial submission and approval, provided us feedback and said it needed to align all the areas with our handbook and our policies, but also state statute. So it is in compliance now.
And then I think this is the one that I had questions on, regarding like the prior authorization documentation before purchases are made.
What section?
Just when they went over it, they stated that there was a debit card that was being utilized and that, um, I think you were the person who was able to utilize it, and then it just stated something about and those that you designate, but there wasn't like a formal documentation or anything for like to show approval. It sounded like it was a lot of just verbal requests.
Oh, yep.
I was
So,
thinking just for like auditing purposes, it would be nice to have something that states that you gave so and so authorization to utilize the debit card for whatever kind of supplies or additional items that the school needed, just so that there was some type of paper trail.
yeah, and that is part of our internal control plan, and that came up in our deficiencies with our authorizers. In that letter was that piece with the debit card and then the policy revision, but then also that paper trail and documentation. So as part of our deficiency checklist and internal control plan, was developed and submitted to Osprey Wiles, and they're reviewing it for feedback. But yep, that is being addressed. And I agree, they're for, especially for auditing that documentation trail. Yep.
Yeah, because I did have, that was a question that I brought up, and it was stated at that time, I think it was yesterday, that there was not a form in place at this time.
So, correct, yep. There's no form in place at this time, but we are working on the internal control plan. Yep, correct.
Okay. Um, I'm going, I don't know, like without that in place or adding that, I don't think I can vote in favor of that one.
I could pull, I could go through my emails to see and show which part were changed. But that's probably what I have available.
So does this need to be approved for the authorizer?
Yes, this is to be approved per authorizer. And this is just, so these are the policies and the
Mhm.
revisions to make sure it aligns with statute and then what's in our handbook, in our policies. So I know those are the revisions that were made. I can go pull up exactly what it is.
See, because in there it states the school board shall authorize the head of school or designee to identify employees who are authorized to make purchases, and we don't have that list either. Because it says shall only be used by those employees authorized to make purchases.
You're on the credit card debit one? Or which, are you
Yeah.
on the?
Yeah,
Okay, let me jump
three.
to the.
So the debit card one too is also for the
All three of them, yeah. I can
Okay.
go,
Yeah.
I'm trying to see how I could, address Bianca's concerns, which are legit.
Right.
I think it's more on the internal control plan, Bianca, that would address, your concerns. I think policies, they have to be developed and we have to have them approved. That aligns with statute. And a lot of these policies are from our Minnesota State Board Association. And they're all state statute approved and which is a requirement. So um, hmm.
So then the internal control piece, that would be separate.
That is separate, yep, that is separate, and that is on our deficiency letter where we have to develop. And in that plan, we can address those concerns and have a plan in place, which are the processes, the documentation that would address that. I think policies are developed, it's like the umbrella that is required for every school. By statute have to have. But because all schools automatically, the authorization does go to the head of school or executive director or whoever, whatever the name is for the lead. In use of credit cards, or in our case, we don't have a credit card, but the debit card. But we are working to move away from such, what's the word? A high use of our debit card. Because for a few reasons, audit, because it's easier to have the account set up and then have it build an invoice or a PO process. And I think we use a debit card so much because it's local and a lot of our supplies just come from, like, for family nights, Walmart, Target.
Okay, I'm okay with moving forward with just including that as a new policy change.
So do you have a motion to approve that?
No, I think we're in vote
Oh,
now
we're in vote, okay.
for approval.
A motion to approve the revised credit card policy as presented.
Oh, wait, we're in credit card policy now?
I think we're in procurement still.
I was gonna say, we need to vote on procurement.
Okay, I moved too fast, my bad.
It's fine.
She was talking about the credit card and debit card and I was.
Yeah, and then you're looking at this and this, yeah. So, voting aye.
Aye.
Now we can move on to credit card.
Motion to approve the revised credit card policy is presented.
I will motion.
So this is the one, okay.
Are those not under the same?
They're separate, yeah.
Yeah, they're separate.
Why were you looking at that one?
No, I was looking at the procurement one
Oh, okay.
under 3. Or no, I guess I was looking at the wrong one.
Okay, because I was like, that's what I was reading from. That's what I was reading, what you're saying.
Okay,
about the
well, we
school
need
board.
to second first before we discuss. So. I motion, somebody needs a second. That isn't me.
I'll second. I'll second.
Okay, now we can go on to discussion. Sorry, I don't mean to be all.
No, you're good. You're keeping everybody in line here. Thank you.
Alright. So now we're on credit card, debit card usage, which is a shorter one, only a 2-page.
Which I think
We
we
already
just talked about.
Yep.
I know it was like.
We jumped, yeah, we jumped.
So then, I guess we just go into vote since we already discussed this one, right?
Yeah.
Unless there's something else we want to discuss about it, but.
What did you mention, Bianca? You said you're good to go forward with what?
Yeah, I'm okay with moving forward with amending the policy.
So all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passed.
But I did make a note,
To make the form.
in the internal control plan to address that.
Thank
Right.
you.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on to item H, motion to approve the electronic funds transfer policy as presented.
I will motion.
I'll second.
Discussion?
I don't have anything on this one, but I can answer questions. possibly.
Who is the business manager?
Amy Lake is a business manager and Mary does our accounts payable and payroll.
Yeah, because it just says business manager is designated as the business administrator.
Yep.
Responsible for the fund transfer, so I was just wondering who that falls on.
Yep.
So, all right.
And that's SMS.
Mary?
SMS.
Mary is our Mary Kranz is our accounts payable and payroll, and Amy Lake is our business manager or district manager for finance. And they both are with school management systems, SMS.
All right. That's all I had.
Any further discussion? All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Hi.
Aye. Motion passed. Motion to approve the use of social media to include Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube channel with the safeguards in place.
I'll motion.
I'll second. I forgot we were doing that.
Any discussion?
So we haven't had social media presence for a whole year last year because of the incident and threats of somebody to one of our staff members. It was recommended at that time by Plummer to just shut it down and use, our normal parent engagement through Parent Square and whatever else that was, our flyers and word of mouth. But there's a huge need. A lot of our parents, like the phone numbers change. We can't get a hold of some of our families. They don't know things that are going on. And a lot of our families are on social media. And so it's a way for us to keep them included, but then also get communication out to them, keep them involved. And so we really, really want to have our presence on social media also because, we have to continue to get the school's name out there, build in some revenue through grants, build partnerships, continuing our network. And so Rochelle visit with Joe Plummer, and it was recommended that as long as we have safeguards in place, we're able to monitor it. And with our new consultant, Mex, he'll have admin rights where he can monitor it at all times. We've been wearing many hats, each one of us, for a long time, and I think having that capacity for an outsider consultant to really monitor that, put those safeguards in place, I think we can move in the right direction where we can continue to tell our story. We've done a lot of great things and a lot of community members don't know the great things. Sadly, they just hear the horrible things or what's ever out there. And so really controlling the narrative and really showing what's going on. And I think that's huge for the school and the community.
Right.
And Plummer recommended to bring it to the board and see how you all felt before proceeding, which we agree with too. So this is just breaking down what we started, where we are. We want to put up our Facebook page, start a channel, and then get into the Instagram arena. We haven't really been in there. And those are the different safeguards that are in place, ready to go when we launch. That's it.
I have nothing to add to this.
No, it looks really good. I mean, it's like, I noticed with that roadblock stuff was really awful for our kids.
Yeah.
And so I really think having someone with that expertise in regards to safeguarding our kids, that's a good thing.
Yeah.
It's a good thing.
Well, Bianca, if you have anything to add about it, I think we're ready to move on.
Nope, I'm good.
So all
And a
in
vote.
favor?
Aye.
Hi.
Motion passed. All right, moving on to K. Motion to resume the regular meeting, which.
Oh, we're at adjournment now.
Oh, okay, my bad.
Oh, no, it's
Any
just
old
been called there.
business? It's okay, nothing. Motion to adjourn the meeting at
7:15.
7:15.
Can we discuss a recent legal issue?
Okay, where would we want to put that?
Is that old business? Would
Yeah.
you put that on?
Okay, well
It's
then
from-
let's not move to adjournment yet then,
Okay.
back up here.
Rescinded that.
Yeah.
So old business adding. A, and adding a
Legal
past
concern or?
past legal concern.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I think we touched on it at the last meeting,
Okay,
in regards to the restraining order, and received an email stating that Endazhi was still named as a party to that.
oh, that's right.
So I know Nate went to court.
The day
Was
after
it
our meeting.
October? Was it October?
It was the day after our meeting.
Okay, yeah. Last month though, right?
Yeah, October 16th.
Yep,
roughly.
and because there was concern, and I think Endazhi's on there because it's his place of work. And it was stated that in the very beginning, when the first restraining order went out. And that's why Nate had to put his name on there, because it had to be a person, not an organization or a place. So he went to court and there were still concerns from Nate because this person that has a restraining order on is still calling employees. I think the last call that was made was probably 3 weeks ago. Still seeing people in the community talking about the school and staff, including me. Multiple staff, making comments. An employee reported during Halloween that they saw him at the community event and was just fishing or making comments about, well, Nate and I and another employee. And so it's just kind of ongoing harassment now. And I know Nate had mentioned to the judge that if there was no harassment going on, if it didn't continue, the said person doesn't have any students here. And
Has
there's
that
no need.
person been at the school? Or are these all things that are happening in the community?
These are things that have been happening in the community, yep. So he's got no students here. So he hasn't been coming to the school, but
So
Nate
there's really
proceeded,
not like a threat to the school though.
not a threat to the school, but harassment on Nate. And so Nate continued the restraining order, which is for him. But when he's at the school, it's the school, because it's his place of work.
But the restraining order should follow him, and then Endazhi was named as a party. It says Nate and Endazhi.
I guess we haven't seen it. Yeah, I haven't seen the restraining order.
I
But
had called,
and I know, oh, go ahead.
I received the email, so I just thought I would call, and I did talk to the courts. And they said that it was included that Endazhi was on there as an entity needing protection.
So in that case, when that happens, I mean, they're including everybody that's in the vicinity, I mean, in the facility. You know what I mean? And have we gotten any complaints in regards to that regarding the kids that attend here? I mean, if it's out in the community, yeah, people are gonna talk, right? And so when there's a restraining order, and that's what I was asking Nate before, I said, it's against you, but it also includes the place of employment.
Yeah.
But it should only have addressed him as the person actually doing the restraining order and not exposing Endazhi as a whole.
Yeah, I know the initial restraining order was actually with about 7 staff members against the person harassing, yelling at, threatening, coming in to the school. And so it was
I think that
multiple.
those 7 staff members should individually do their own because it doesn't protect them outside of the school.
Yeah, and so that was recommended by the courts is whenever that happened last year or over, the courts recommended that every single person come in and do one if they wanted to on the person. And we had about 4 that said, yeah, I would do it. But
Was there any follow through on it?
there was no, well, I don't know. I didn't follow up on it. I know Nate went in as himself and I think that's where the confusion was because there's multiple staff members that were feeling threatened and didn't even want to be in the same room or area in a meeting or anything with the person. And that was ongoing for quite a while. And it was addressed to the board chair. I sent over a lot of documentation and nothing happened. And so it got to the point where our staff was like, I don't want to be in a meeting. I don't want to be around them. They would, and it was like all the time. So
But it's
to
just
answer
that
your
person
question,
though. It's not like the school in general.
it was multiple staff at the very beginning. And then the courts recommended to each staff would have to do their own if they chose to. But Nate did follow through with himself because the threats started coming. And then at that time, that's when it was questioned and all the questions of legalities on does it need board approval to have a restraining order? And that's when lawyers got involved and that's when we went to Plummer. And I know Plummer sent an email to now Victoria Chair on that there doesn't need to be a board approval for a restraining order for any employee. And if it's at their place of work. So I guess to answer also and address Bianca, what you're bringing up is I don't know what the restraining order says. And I don't know, I don't think Nate received a copy of it yet. I'm sure he can pick it up, but yeah, it's a good conversation to see, well, what does it say on the restraining order and what is meant? I know Nate relayed to me that he just straight up told the judge, according to Nate, was, look, however you want, if you want to change the verbiage, that's fine. All I know now is that he has no students here. There's no reason to be over here. From this point on, it's harassment and I want to continue the restraining order on him. So he did mention, and we can get the minutes. We can get the minutes from the court. They're available. But he did mention if we need to change the verbiage, if we need to, however we need to change it, but I am continuing the restraining order on this person. Because now it's harassment. And it's
then
harassing other staff.
those are like personal harassment discussions though. And I think
And I get where you're coming from, Bianca, not having, I mean, even though Endazhi is his place of employment, which the restraining order already covers. So I can see where you're coming from and not to put Endazhi on the actual because the place of employment is already included in that.
Yeah.
And it shouldn't be included in the restraining order.
So is it
as an entity of placing a restraining
Yeah.
order on this person?
So
I get
I
where
just-
you're coming from.
I feel
Is
like
his
that just
question-
takes away from Endazhi's vision and mission and goal.
So is the concern that Endazhi's name's on the restraining order?
Yeah,
Or is the concern
I don't
that
think
he
that
wants
like
to come?
I just don't think that leadership should be bringing personal issues like that for restraining orders if that doesn't fall under our vision, mission, and goal. It's just too much personal
So the concern is just having the name Endazhi not on the restraining order.
On it.
Yeah. I mean, I fully support Nate wanting to have a restraining order for his personal protection, and definitely encourage any staff members who feel the same way to go that route, but I just don't feel like it's appropriate. And I mean, it's okay to disagree, but that's just my thoughts on it.
I agree with that, because I worked with restraining orders before, and so when an individual does restraining order, it does include the workplace. It doesn't have to be specific, it's just you're specified as a workplace.
Yeah.
So that Endazhi happens to be his workplace, but it doesn't have to be.
Name.
Exactly,
Yeah.
as you can't come to Endazhi because, I have a restraining order on you. That's his personal workspace, and I get where you're coming
Yeah.
from with that. And so, maybe next month, or even a special one, we can do, review it because, I mean, we can be back, Nate on his restraining order, because of the safety issues. But including Endazhi as the per se name
Yeah.
of the ones putting restraining order on them, because it's already underlined that place is included.
Yeah. Anywhere
Yeah.
that he's at, or
Mhm.
house, residence, yep. Yeah, no, I agree, and I know Nate would agree, I think it just carried over, I'm wondering if it just carried over what was written initially on it. Yeah. But yeah, definitely, I can write that down for Nate to visit and get a copy.
Yeah. Is that it, Bianca?
Yeah, I appreciate your guys' time in allowing me to discuss that matter. I really want to focus more on the school's progress and such, and want to make sure that we're doing right by the students.
Mhm. Okay, so do I have a motion to adjourn?
At 7:28.
I'll motion.
I will second.
All in favor? Aye.
I,
Aye.
Okay, we adjourn at 7:28.
all right.
I was gonna, Bianca, as I hang around with kids all the time, I was gonna say 100%. It's not myself.
At least it wasn't
Now I have to go get my
6, 7.
water.
Yeah.
Oh,
what?
There's a water line that busted in Panania.
Thank you, Bianca.
Thank
All
you,
right.
Bianca. Love you. Talk to you
Love you.
later.
yeah, I was gonna say it's still recording.
So yeah, they had a water line break.